Today, we are in person at the United Nations headquarters in New York, during a moment where the air quality is amongst the worst in the world due to the impacts of wildfires taking place in a nearby country. Globally, we are seeing evidence of a stressed planet, one that is increasingly burdened by human impact. While it was not my original plan to open this way, the situation that we are in is a reminder of how delicate the balance of life is, how interconnected we are to the natural world, and how the impacts of our actions as humans often extend well beyond what we can see. In the spirit of broadening our perspectives outside of our immediate surroundings, I would like to invite everyone to close their eyes and to take a deep breath. Imagine yourself here, right now, sitting at the United Nations or tuning in online. And now visualize yourself beyond the room that you are in. Take a deep breath. And now beyond the city that you're in. Another breath. Beyond the country. And now imagine that you are just above the surface of the earth and you are looking down at our home. What do you see? Do you see it? A blue marble, the only planet in the solar system that is known to be made predominantly of water. Our living planet, planet Ocean. With this vision in your mind, take a deep breath again, and another. One of those breaths came from the ocean. This year's World Oceans Day theme is Planet Ocean, Tides Are Changing. Today, we'll be reshaping how we view Earth to create a groundswell of momentum towards putting the ocean first. My name is Leah Doriel, and I'm the founder and executive director of nonprofit Oceanic Global. We have been honored to partner with World Oceans Day since 2019. We're excited to once again be joining our hosts, the United Nations Office of Legal Affairs and the Division of Ocean Affairs and Law of the Sea, as well as supporting partner Panerai and our contributors Discover Earth. Before diving into today's programming, it is my privilege to introduce His Excellency Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, who will be joining us virtually for opening remarks.
The ocean is the foundation of life. It supplies the air we breathe and food we eat. It regulates our climate and weather. The ocean is our planet's greatest reservoir of biodiversity. Its resources sustain communities, prosperity, and human health around the world. Humanity counts on the ocean. But can the ocean count on us? We should be the ocean's best friend, but right now, humanity is its worst enemy. Human-induced climate change is heating our planet, disrupting weather patterns and ocean currents, and altering marine ecosystems and the species living there. Marine biodiversity is under attack from overfishing, overexploitation, and ocean acidification. Over 1/3 of fish stocks are being harvested at unsustainable levels, and we are polluting our coastal waters with chemicals, plastic, and human waste. But this year's World Oceans Day reminds us that the tides are changing. Last year, we adopted an ambitious global target to conserve and manage 30% of land and marine and coastal areas by 2030, as well as a landmark agreement on fisheries subsidies. At the UN Ocean Conference in Lisbon, the world agreed to push for more positive ocean action. A global, legally binding agreement to end plastic pollution is under negotiation. And in March, countries agreed to the historic ICES Treaty on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biodiversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction. Realizing the great promise of these initiatives requires collective commitment. Sustainable Development Goal 14, to conserve and sustainably use the ocean's resources, hangs in the balance. This World Oceans Day, let's keep pushing for action. Today and every day, let's put the ocean first.
Thank you, Secretary General, for reminding us that it is essential to prioritize the ocean. Next, it is my distinct honor to introduce Mr. Serpa Suarez, Under Secretary General for Legal Affairs and the United Nations Legal Council.
Full room, all blue. Blue is our color. So, distinguished guests, thank you so much for joining the United Nations today on this World Oceans Day to help change the tides for planet ocean. And first of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all speakers and performers who will be presenting today. By sharing your experiences and your stories, you inspire us all to put the ocean first. I would also like to express the deep gratitude of my office through the Division for Ocean Affairs and the Law of the Sea to our production partner, Oceanic Global, for creating this important international event with us again this year. Our thanks also go to the Panerai for its generous support and to Discover Earth and Ocean X for their contributions. Today's program will take us literally from outer space to the deep sea and everything in between. And by zooming out to 250 miles above the Earth's surface, we will appreciate the unique planetary feature that the ocean is in our universe. And by zooming in on the smallest creatures living on the ocean floor, we will marvel at the underexplored wonders that the ocean has to offer. Speakers will highlight the close interconnectivity of the ocean with our climate, our cultures, and the arts. And the winners of the annual photo competition, to be revealed later this morning, will bring all of these to life with beautiful images. Now, while we gather here once a year to mark World Oceans Day, every day the United Nations and others are working to change the tides for planet ocean. Only a few weeks ago, delegates in this room adopted a series of recommendations on the conservation and management of straddling and highly migratory fish stocks, aiming to ensure sustainable fisheries for current and future generations. And this week, experts are briefing delegations on the challenges and opportunities of new maritime technologies and their possible contributions to sustainable development. Next week, a meeting in New York will elect new members of the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, strengthening the framework for the peaceful resolution of ocean-related disputes. And later this month, delegations will resume deliberations on a new treaty on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction. And that is with the aim of adopting a final text that will provide a governance framework for nearly 2/3 of the ocean surface. In closing, I would like to acknowledge all efforts that you are making to put the ocean first, including by organizing events and activities to mark this day here in New York City and worldwide through the Friends of World Oceans Day community and other initiatives. I'm delighted that the message of World Oceans Day is carried far and wide, including by the tall ship Amerigo Vespucci, which is setting sail from Genova on the 1st of July for a 2-year world tour. I wish her and all of you fair winds. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership and vision on World Oceans Day. At Oceanic Global, our mission is to reconnect humanity to the ocean as the lifeblood of the planet, and to provide tangible solutions and blueprints for coexisting in harmony with the natural world. As humans, we are part of this beautiful web of life, and our survival is dependent on our interactions with that, and for that, a thriving ocean. The ocean sustains all life on Earth. No matter where we are from, we rely on the ocean, from the air that we breathe, to the food that we eat, to how we transport, and even how the climate is regulated. Today and every day needs to be about coming back into harmony with the ocean, looking at how we are redesigning our systems and making decisions that put the ocean at the center of it all. We'll be hearing today from individuals, communities, and nonprofits to the private sector that we need to come together and pave the path forward for the ocean and for our collective well-being. We live on a blue planet. The ocean does not only support humanity, it supports all life on Earth. We will now be hearing from Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, who sadly will be joining us virtually from New Zealand. Thank you.
Aloha, mai kako. I'm Jason Momoa. As both a native Hawaiian and as Aquaman, my connection to the ocean runs deep. It's in my heart and soul. That's what connects us all. The more I see irresponsible human activity, pollution, acidification, the extraction that devastates the ocean, I find myself asking if humanity has forgotten that the ocean not only covers the planet, but it also sustains it. Do we not realize that the health of the ocean determines the survival of all species, including our own? The human-induced triple planetary crisis of climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss continues to weigh heavily on the ocean, ecosystems, and the communities that directly depend on it. If we don't change course, the ocean's dire state will continue to decline. It didn't have to be that way. Through reimagining our relationship with the ocean and working together to better understand, prioritize, and protect it, we can rebuild and preserve the health of the ocean, both now and for future generations. I'm honored to be joining the United Nations family on World Oceans Day, celebrating how wonderful it is to live on our blue planet and underscore the importance of prioritizing the ocean's health for our own health. I'm also proud to support the implementation of global biodiversity framework through which countries aim to protect and restore 30% of the world's ocean by 2030. We live on a beautiful blue planet. It's gorgeous, but we must respect it and honor it. It's our mother. Aloha nui loa. Aloha.
I am now excited to introduce international actor and activist Lucas Bravo, who you may recognize from the award-winning series Emily in Paris, to share a few words. Lucas, over to you.
I'd like to first send our thoughts and prayer to our friends in Canada and Quebec, Alberta, and Ottawa. There's no greater poem than contemplating the wild Canadian forest, and watching it burn is a tragedy, really. And it is the direct impact of our unsustainable way of living, climate change. Having said that, what an honor it is for me to be here among so many bold and brilliant minds who are working to reshape our future. Thank you to the United Nations and Oceanic Global for having me. I am constantly trying to educate myself on the challenges that we face, but I may never know as much as the people in this room who have dedicated our lives to our oceans, to our planet. I could never claim to have done that. In many ways, I feel like a hypocrite standing here. Like most people, I'm still learning. I still make a lot of mistakes in my daily habits in my life, and the industry I operate in still has a lot of progress to make. But I'm passionately dedicated to my job, and I'm here today to support and shed a light on the incredible work of those in this room and outside of it, fighting to make the world a safer place for us all. Today, I am here to talk about hope. And yes, it can be hard to feel hopeful when talking about climate change and the effect it is having on our ocean. Each passing week brings more devastating news of marine pollution, unsustainable fishing, and habitat destruction. It is far easier after a long day to switch off, to turn away, to ignore the injustices and outrages being committed to nature. But today I would like to talk about the people who have not turned away, whose actions have sparked seeds of hope, which I believe can take root in us all. I'd like to talk about Daniela Fernandez, who at just 19 years old founded the nonprofit which provides the enabling conditions of community, knowledge, and funding to the people at the front line of climate justice and action. I'd like to talk about Crystal Ambrose, founder of the Youth-Led Initiative, which aims to educate the next generation and whose work led to the Bahamian government banning all single-use plastics. I'd like to talk also about a group of young women, Camille Etienne, Anne-Sophie Roux, Adélaïde Charlier, who came together online to focus their sight on deep-sea mining, which, in its pursuit of rare minerals used to make our batteries for our phones and electric cars, threatens to destroy delicate marine ecosystem and dislodge countless tons of stored carbon from the seabed. The women I have mentioned, plus countless others, are confronting the threats that face us with a staggering degree of hope. The examples they have set serve as an inspiration for me, and I hope for us all. I could never expect to match them in the scale of their achievements, but I think we can all endeavor to follow their lead. Ultimately, it is governments and big businesses that will decide the fate of our oceans, but we as individuals still have a crucial part to play. In the small decisions that we make, to eat less meat or fish, to walk instead of drive, and most importantly, to speak up for what we believe must be protected at all costs, we help to create a global society in which the key decision makers are held accountable, and in which the unchecked plundering of our oceans will not stand. With these small choices, we empower ourselves, we become part of the resistance, and we contribute to the flame of hope that is still burning bright. And when that flame flickers, as it inevitably does for us all, I suggest we turn to the youth and to our children. A friend of mine has a 3-year-old daughter. Her name's Mila. She hugs trees. She tells me off when I'm wasting water. Nobody taught her to do these things. They are in her nature as a human being. I believe that our capacity to care for the environment, for the earth we live in, and the ocean that sustains us comes naturally. We are born with the hope we need. It is the modern world which strips us of this care, of our sense of responsibility to Mother Earth. We need to protect and nurture not only the natural world around us, but the innate need in our young people to connect with the elements, to hug trees. If you have children in your life, drag them away from their screens and get them outside. Take them to the sea if you can, and marvel with them at its immeasurable vastness and infinite wisdom. Train them to practice gratitude for the world surrounding them. Make them understand the singularity of life. Teach them not to take any breath for granted. Give them the tools to avoid the sweet embrace of denial and comfort when met with helplessness. You may have noticed that I've talked mainly about women so far. This is no coincidence. In my journey to educate myself about the environment and the ocean, women have often, more than not, been my guides. Men have done so much damage to our waters over the centuries. Now it is women leading the way in restoring them. A French cartoonist, known simply as Emma, has written about the mental load, which is the extra responsibility that women carry compared to men, generally taking on greater share of essential tasks around the home. And I can think of no task more essential than caring for our oceans and maintaining the delicate balance of their depth. Perhaps it is time for us men to share a more equal portion of this responsibility. I said at the start that I wanted to talk about hope. When I say that word, I picture the women who have inspired me, those who were not asked to help, but who have gone beyond any reasonable expectation in their desire to educate and act. They are the leaders we need, daughters, mothers, sisters. They are the ones whose example we must follow. We as humans still have much to learn about the world around us. The deep sea, undisturbed for millennia, should be the site of respectful, light-footed discovery to protect its abundance and prevent humanity from further devastating what we're yet to understand. We will never stop wanting to explore the far-flung corners of our planet. It is what makes us human, but we must do so in ways that leave our oceans alive and breathing and beautiful. My only hope is that we can find a way to do this together. Thank you.